What is up, guys? Justin here with my pickups from this past weekend. This was the first weekend since I started garage selling this summer that I did not go out on Friday morning. Not that there wasn't any sales going on, but there was just nothing that looked remotely promising as far as game finds go. But there was one sale that was starting a little later, I guess afternoon. It was starting at noon. So I decided to stop in there before I went into work because I heard they were going to have a couple Atari systems. So I went up there and ended up picking up these two Atari 5200 systems. Now I thought for sure they were going to be 2600s, but there was two 5200s. One was the 4-controller port model, and the other one was the 2-controller port model. Both in actually pretty nice shape. They got some scratches and stuff on them, but both of them still had the plastic back flap cover thing, whatever you want to call it, that's normally broken off. And it came with one RF box and then one power cord and some miscellaneous PlayStation stuff that was in the box, a few controllers and a multi-tap and a few PS1 games. Now there was no 5200 controllers with this deal, and the guy told me that they had actually had their sale the previous weekend as well, and I must have just missed it because we were right in that area and I didn't see the sale. But he told me he had a guy come and offer him $80 for the couple boxed 5200 controllers that he had that were broken. He told me they were broken, and I could tell they were broken because in the bottom of the box that I got the systems in were a bunch of random 5200 controller parts. So I don't know why the guy that bought the controllers for $80 didn't just buy the systems as well, because I offered the guy $20 for both systems, and he seemed more than happy to take that and threw that PlayStation stuff in for me. So that was kind of strange, but I'm not going to complain. Two 5200 systems for $20. And I'm glad that I at least found something on Friday morning, or afternoon, I guess. So moving on to Saturday morning, this first deal I'm going to show here, it was actually not a garage sale find, but I'm going to include it here because it was one of the highlights of the weekend, and I did pick it up while I was out garage selling. It was just a Facebook deal that I'd worked out the night before for some cartridge stuff. Got some Super Nintendo games and some N64 games here. I'll start out with the Super Nintendo games. We got Revolution X, Super Mario World, and NBA Jam Tournament Edition. I got plenty more N64 games with the deal though. 007 World is not enough. Top Gear Rally, Bass Hunter 64, Mario Golf, Fighter's Destiny. I just picked this one up actually down at the Midwest Gaming Classic. Ready to Rumble Boxing, Wetrix, Virtual Pool 64, NFL Blitz, the first one. We got Milo's Astro Lanes, Destruction Derby 64, Cruisin' USA, Ken Griffey Jr., or Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr., The New Tetris, Madden 2001, Vigilante 8, and ending it strong with NBA Courtside, Kobe Bryant. So I paid the guy $50 for all of those games. I was actually, and there's actually like 6 or 8 of them that I didn't get. Somebody had actually beat me to the posting and picked out like 6 or 8 of the better ones, I'd say. I saw what they were. It was like a Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium. I think Star Fox was probably the best one. And then a few other N64 games. So the guy was originally asking $100 for all the rest of these games, and I offered $40, and we settled on $50. And he was actually out garage selling Saturday morning too. That's why we met up so early for this deal. So anyway, moving on from there, the next sale we raced over to was supposed to be the main lead for the day. They told me they were going to have some Wii, PS1, and PS2 stuff, and they didn't. Told me they didn't get around to digging it out or bringing it with them. So I left my number, and I'm not going to get called back. I'm pretty sure of that. But a couple sales later is where I made my first garage sale purchase of the morning. I got my Wii for the weekend. Got a white Wii system here. It came with some unit cords and sensor bar. The stand is in here as well. And then it had some controllers with it, 2 of the Wiimotes, and actually 3 nunchuck controllers. One of them has got its blue condom on it. And then system still had the instruction manuals and stuff. and it came with this stack of games here, which I'll show quickly. We got Wii Sports, Speed, cardboard sleeve in the manual, Real Heroes Firefighter, Wii Play, Wii Fit Plus. It actually came with the Wii Fit board as well. I'm not going to show that. It was pretty beat up anyway. Dance Workout, Gold's Gym, new Super Mario Bros. Wii, EA Sports Active, and Pinball Hall of Fame. So it didn't have a price on it. The guy really wasn't sure what to ask for it. I offered $25, which was honestly the most I was going to pay for it. And he was a little bit unsure. He was like, yeah, I don't know if that's enough. But the wife was like, oh, sure, $25, that's plenty. Take it, get it out of here. So I was like, okay, thank you. $25 for my Wii for the weekend. So after that, things got a little bit frustrating. We went quite a long time without finding anything, and it wasn't until one of the very last sales of the day where we found what was probably the score of the weekend. We walked up to this sale that was just in this random parking lot, and I saw they had a few PS2 games. They also had like a few Xbox sports games that I passed on, but I grabbed these PS2 games for $1 each. Sims 2 Pets, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, Future Tactics, and Bully. And so I had these in my hand, and I looked down, and right at my feet there was two boxes. One of them had a PlayStation 1 in it, and one of them had a GameCube in it. I'll show the PS1 stuff first. It was one of the mini systems here. There was one game that was in that box, Need for Speed High Stakes. There was one third-party controller in there, and then it had, I believe, both the cords for it. Yep, both the original cords for it. And so then, sitting next to it was this this GameCube here, a black GameCube system. The reset button's kind of sticky, so I'll have to take that apart and clean that up. But that's an easy enough fix. And that came with the cords as well here. It did not have a controller in there, but it did have some random handheld games. So for the Nintendo DS all loose cartridge, we got Snood 2 on Vacation, Nintendogs, no big deal, Mario Hoops 3 on 3, that was kind of cool, and Space Invaders Revolution. And then there was also for the DS a Super Mario 64. And two other games in here. For the Game Boy Color, I would assume this has to be Pokemon Crystal without a label. I don't think any other game looked like this. So I'll have to test that out and make sure that's what it is. And I'm sure the battery's dead, but I'll replace that. And then Tom and Jerry Infernal Escape for the Game Boy Advance. So nothing too spectacular, but I couldn't believe the prices on these. The GameCube box actually had a $2 price sticker on it for the system and all these handheld games that were in there. And then the PS1 actually didn't have a price on it, but when I brought the GameCube up there, she's like, oh, just give me another $2 for the PlayStation stuff. So $2 each on the systems and the PS2 games. Ended up being like $8 or something. So nothing too spectacular, but just for that cheap, that had to be the score of the weekend, and it really turned the morning around because I was kind of frustrated at that point. Not that I hadn't found anything, you know, I got all the cartridge stuff and whatever, but I wasn't quite satisfied yet, and that got me over the edge. So anyway, I didn't get quite as much stuff this weekend as I have, you know, maybe the past couple weekends at the garage sales. It was still a solid weekend and well worth it. You know, I've been hitting the garage sales really hard this summer, and it's been paying off. So I'm hoping that this luck can continue through the rest of the summer. Thank you guys for sticking around and checking out this video, and until next time, take care.